All right, so we are here with Joe Orsini from Nuna, is it Nuna Inc., right?
Yeah,
In
Nuna.
San, and you guys are in San Francisco?
Yes, we are based in San Francisco. We're all currently working from our apartments.
Totally.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, tell us a little bit about Nuna real quick, just kind of a high level so people can kind of to understand what you're doing. Because I think what you're doing is really cool, particularly in a time like this.
Cool. Yeah. So Nuna's a healthcare tech company. Our clients are payers, so health insurance companies basically, and our products are all about kind of improving access to high quality, affordable healthcare for patients. Right. There's kind of two ways that we're doing that. One of which is with our value platform product, which is designed to kind of operationalize. It's basically software, kind of payment software to operationalize new payment models in healthcare, and where those payment models kind of incentivize high value care, so high quality, lower cost healthcare relative to the payment models today, which kind of just incentivize high volumes of care to be provided. Um, and then the other product that we have is sort of trying to identify providers who are giving people high quality, low cost healthcare, and then get patients into their offices by making recommendations or matches of those patients to those providers. So it's really trying to use data to help the system function better for the patients that are using it.
Awesome.
And how has COVID-19, in this whole situation impacted Nuna, both internally, like employees, obviously, but externally in what you're doing?
Yeah, so I mean, internally, the impacts have been bigger. I mean, we're used to getting into the office every day and working with each other and having our catered lunches as is a San Francisco tradition and all that. And that's all kind of out the window. So everybody's working from home, and sort of we're experiencing what it's like to kind of be doing asynchronous communication when we're still moving pretty quickly. So that kind of gets to the external component, where it's actually affected us less than you would think and less than I would have expected. Where I think we'll probably see kind of the speed with which our clients are able to move on our sales slow down a little bit, but we've had a couple of like quite a few positive sales signals in the last 2 weeks in terms of next meetings or signed letters of intent or things like that. So it's impacted us less than I'd have imagined, although certainly all of our clients are thinking about it. And there have been some clients who have said, we want to do another round of demos with y'all, but we don't know when we can schedule it yet, right? So that's a real thing. And then just having an intelligent set of thoughts internally about how we would recognize this in data and how it's impacting the data that we're seeing has become increasingly important. So I would say that's another big part of it.
Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about why are you at Nuna and why? What's true about the company right now? Right. So the future of where you're going, what gets you excited? What are the things that just are true about coming to Nuna?
Totally. So I think I'm at Nuna for the same reason that a lot of people are at Nuna, which is really all about, it's a mission-driven company, right? I think all of us sort of identify with the mission to improve the healthcare system in our country. I think all of us have for me, the reason that I'm attracted to that problem is when I went through grad school, I did my PhD and kind of focused on the Affordable Care Act, and knew that working in the healthcare space is just something I wanted to do kind of in my career, because I learned so much about how complex it is and also how important it is and how high stakes of a problem it is to solve. But I think everybody kind of has their own personal story. Some of them are more personal than my own, right? Like a family member who's been through some health issues and realizes how badly the system needs to be fixed. So all of us are kind of there for that reason. So it's very much kind of a mission-driven culture as well. Like, people just care deeply about the company's success, not because they've got equity in it and they stand to make a pretty penny if it's successful, but because they really believe that if we can do what we want to do, then it's going to make the world a better place. And I think that's sort of a key truth about the company that I see in almost everyone.
That's awesome. No, that's awesome.
So how would you describe the overall culture? I mean, the good, the bad, like what are you all working on? Because I think, people, they want that authentic story, and
Totally.
That's what we want to help you tell. So what's going on, Nuna, culturally?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it's a very collaborative culture. I mean, people are working together over, today over video calls and things like that. But like every day, like folks are kind of collaborating on problems so it's very much not siloed. I would say it's fairly flat organizationally as well, right? Like it's not super hierarchical with like, you need to get a permission from your manager to make a decision or to go another direction, and they need to get permission from their manager. So it's much more sort of a flat organizational structure, which is great in a lot of ways and really lends itself to this collaborative environment. I would say it also can lead and does lead to some chaos at times, and so things being sort of not as coordinated as they could be. So I would say that can be kind of the downside of that culture. So you sort of need to be able to kind of prioritize and be kind of a self-starter, right? Like be sort of self-driven to be able to handle it. But folks who are and who like that are really excelling a ton. So I think it's also because of that a great place to grow. I've seen, there's quite a few people who report to me, and I've seen all of them just grow like leaps and bounds. A lot of which is because kind of they have to, right? to figure out,
Totally.
like, what do I do? Like, they're not getting like a ton of direction, right. but they kind of can put their heads together, figure out, okay, what are the most important problems we need to solve? How should we solve them, and then tackle them, and doing that is a great growth opportunity. So.
Nice. So if we were get into the meat of some things, right? I mean, there's a pretty short call we're gonna have, but what are you guys doing? You guys are hiring. There's a lot of people who aren't, but tell us about like what's going on there. What are you hiring for? How do people get in touch with you guys? Actually say, hey, I'm interested in working with Nuna.
Totally. So I'm a data science manager. I'm hiring 2 data scientists for my team. One will be sort of internal, working on kind of the core algorithms that are matching patients to primary care physicians who are a good fit for their health needs. So, folks who are interested on working on those sorts of problems. It's a really interesting one, and we need somebody for that. We're also looking for kind of it's another role within the data science team, but they'd be more sort of externally facing. This person would almost be sitting at the intersection of like a product management role, like a account management role, and then the data science role. So they'd be doing analytics and then also presenting those analytics and kind of interfacing with all these different roles to make sure that we're moving along towards our client milestones, which I think would be an exciting hybrid role for people. So and has the opportunity to make a big impact by kind of bridging teams that are maybe overly siloed right now. So I'm really excited for that one. And then my team is pretty light on software engineers as well. So specifically for our matching product, we're looking to hire two software engineers who are relatively experienced. And again, that'll help bridge some gaps right now. I think the data science team and the software engineering teams aren't working as closely together as we want, mostly due to a need for software engineers. So that's a big open role as well. We also there are other roles open, and folks should go to Nuna.com and just check out our hiring page. Also find me on LinkedIn or just shoot me an email at joe@nuna.com with a resume. But there are a ton of open roles, not just in these technical departments. Those are just the ones that I'm closest to.
Love it. I love that. Yeah.
What from a just quickly, like from a personality perspective, and looking at your current team, the people who are happy, the people who are high performing, like what do they have in common? What are those like traits that they have in common? What are you looking for in candidates, and what are you not looking for?
Yeah, I would say, what's a big thing that successful folks have in common is definitely being sort of self-motivated.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not looking to have to kind of like be on somebody all the time and like help them figure out like at a super granular level, everything they need to do. So folks who can kind of like sort through like, here's the broad problem that we as a team need to solve. How can I kind of carve off a piece of that and run with it? I think is big. So that's one piece. Personality wise, I mean, I would say there's sort of a fairly diverse set of personalities that are able to be successful. I mean, worked worked with incredibly effective introverts and extroverts, and all of those personality types can succeed as long as they're kind of willing to collaborate with others, and kind of just put their heads together to solve problems. Yeah, that's kind of that's a big part of what it takes.
Awesome.
That is awesome. I mean, well, hey, Joe, we really appreciate it. Like we talked about, I mean, our biggest goal right now is just to get word out there that there's companies that are hiring. Just push it out there. We'll do our part. You do your part. You guys keep killing it over at Nuna. Well, I mean, people need work. People need hope more than anything right now, right? They need to know that companies are still going, and jobs are so important. And you taking the time out of your day to just send this message out to people to say, look, there's some opportunity. We can't hire everyone, but we have some roles, and and that's important. So we really appreciate it. It's huge, bigger than you know, and it was just great to connect and learn about a great company.
Awesome, glad to do it. Good talking to you guys.
You too, Joe. Thanks. Bye, everybody.